What's up, world, and welcome to Running Back Podcast. I'm your boy Javi.
I'm Omega Green. D-Lo here.
We got Cha-Cha in the building, double C, double H, double A, taking you all the way with the running back. Fresh flavor, new recipe, so stay tuned because it's going to be real tasty.
Fangalican good.
Yay.
All right, so let's get right into it. D-Lo, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Got next week. I'm going to Florida to see my mom graduate to get her master's. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Masters in what? Masters in what?
Nursing.
Oh, nursing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Come on, Winnie. Can I borrow some money, mama?
Yeah. One thing though. Big shout out to XBI Records.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Get into that.
Fisticuffs came through.
Yeah, and but first of all, we got this brand new equipment.
Oh my God.
And as you can tell, our voice is a little bit crispy right
Yeah,
now.
Yes,
So-
this
Can
is
you hear it?
amazing.
Crispy
Can
like
you hear it?
cream donuts.
Thank you
can
so
hear it.
much.
Yeah,
it's
so,
awesome.
We're-
We're moving up, George and Weezy.
You know it.
George and Weezy, moving on up.
so
Brother Man
yeah,
came through.
Shout out to
fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs. It's hard for me to say it, but shout out to Fisticuffs. We appreciate
Yeah.
you. We can't wait to get
Fisticuffs.
you in here and interview you
Yeah.
on everything that you do because this is amazing. So I couldn't imagine the things that you have done, seen, experienced, and hopefully you can give us some advice in this game. So
Yeah.
we can't wait to
Yeah.
get you in here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we appreciate you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah.
So, but other than that, man, like I said, I feel things are getting ready to come together in a big way. So,
Yeah.
All right.
you know, but
Yeah, that's right.
Omega, how you feeling?
you get it down?
Yeah.
I'm fucking tired, man.
Man.
It's been a long week. Did get Monday off, so it was a 4-day week, which is badass. but-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky.
But
I
we're at
did
a
too.
point, quotas and shit. And
Facts.
they're trying to be like, yo, let's wind this up and see how many things we can get done and accomplish by X time and then dial it in. And it's been dope because everybody's been pushing. But at the same time, I'm like, you go hard in the paint the entire time you're there. Like, bro,
Yeah.
eventually somebody somewhere gonna crash the fuck out.
Right.
Hey, but that bottle was good though.
Hey, yeah,
Is
absolutely.
it gone?
No,
Oh.
Hey, show them.
hell
You
no.
said that bottle was good. Like you'd have devoured it. you
No,
know?
no, that thing is 119 proof. Hell no, it ain't done
Oh.
gone.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
They gave out some things. So
Okay.
I saw one bottle and I was like, yo, because on the
Word
back
up.
of it, they had like different people who would select barrels to be bottled and whatnot. And one of them was like Liquor Barn, and the other one is some other company. I saw one that said D's Vault, and I was like, yo,
Hey.
Like, I'm gonna
Come
give
on,
this-
D's Vault.
I'll give this to D.
That's what's up. Okay.
So,
yeah, I want to see the bottle, so you gotta show me before we leave.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but how you doing, bro?
Me? I'm doing. I'm all right. I'm all right. I was gonna say I'm doing great, but that would be lying. I'm all right. There's some hiccups going on right now with me getting into this new place. It's still going to happen. I was just planning on getting the keys today, and I'm not getting them today, but I could possibly get them this weekend. But I need to be out of this place. I'm ready to go, but it's a work in progress. I got to realize that I've got to still see the positive, but I'm also still like looking at backup plans now. Like I haven't signed anything and gotten these keys. So it's like my
Yeah.
lease is up. I need to go, you know?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm slightly stressed out, but I'm getting through it. I'm working through it. There's nothing I can do about it, but move forward and make sure that I'm covered. So I'm doing okay. I'm doing fine.
One day at a time.
Facts, but there's a little crack going on a little too. I ain't even gonna lie
Hey,
to you.
I ain't
like,
gonna
it's a
lie
little
though,
crack.
moving's stressful.
Very,
Lord.
very.
Gosh.
Yes. But before we get into that, how you feeling?
It's been a long week, like Omega said. Monday was necessary for me. I had another death in the family. Another cousin passed away. I had one earlier
Oh man,
America,
sorry to
if
hear
you
that.
listened in, I had a cousin that passed away. He was on my father's side. This one was sudden, so and this one's on my mom's side. I was closer to him than my other cousin, but I'm close to both of them. So it was a lot to deal with because Sunday I was actually going to try to go see him when he and I was actually in church in Sunday school when I got the word. I was like, oh, but so it's been hard, but then I got sick. So the family came together on that day, and we met up, and we bought food and discussed stuff and reminisced, cried. We went through all of that, and so Monday I woke up real, with throat was scratchy and raw. So when that happens for me, I know it's coming. Our head cold is coming. So America, you're gonna tell I'm a little nasally. We crispy, but I'm I'm more nasally than normal. And if you hear me sniffle, forgive me. I may have to walk away and clear my sinuses, but so I've been sick since Monday. Tuesday, it was rough. I went into work anyway because I knew I was going to have a half a day on Wednesday and be off today on today. So, so I went in on Tuesday. It was rough. It was rough, number one, because my sinuses have started draining, so I had to wear a mask, and I couldn't. I should have taken off. I was all over the place. I couldn't focus. I was going to see patients, tears coming out my eyes. I had to make sure, it was just a lot to deal with. So I put it on myself, but it was a lot. I got through it though. I'm here today, and I'm glad. I'm glad I'm here.
We're glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you.
We
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
you for being here.
Yeah. The equipment is awesome, by the way, America. I cannot wait. We're taking this places, America. So just we would love for you all to come along with us on this ride. I'm telling you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Subscribe and ride along with us. It's going nowhere but up from here.
Right.
Hey. So, with that being said, I guess I can announce the topic of the week. As you've heard from some of our stories, life is stressful. You never know what's going to happen. Shit, some stuff happens unexpectedly that you never would expect. And things happen that you expect, but it's still always stressful. So, the topic of this week is America. Stress, how you coping? Like, do you cope with the stresses of work and the stresses of that relationship, family oriented balance, and how are you just coping with life? And when we come back, we'll get right into it. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Let's
right.
do it.
All right, y'all. So welcome back, and let's just get right into it. Stress, how you coping? When it comes to work, like work is super, super duper stressful. Whether it's you are dealing with a stressful boss, you're dealing with stressful employees, you're dealing with a stressful like assembly line or a factory job, or even what you do, like that can become very stressful too. You with your whatever you're doing on the computer all day. You're coding or decoding or whatever it is.
Well, yeah,
that can become stressful too. So when you cut that computer off, when you leave that factory, when you walk out of those hospital doors, how do you de-stress? Do you just let it take over you and consume you? Do you slowly let it fade away? Do you get home? Do you take a bottle to the head? Do you take a blunt to the face? Like, how do you cope? How do you reset your mind and your perspective on your job or on that stress
Well,
the next day?
this job is actually different for me because this is, like I said, this is the first job that I ain't playing Captain Save-A-Ho.
Yeah, but
So,
I'm not necessarily like
I'm
talking
not-
about the job.
No,
It's just the stress.
no,
How
I'm
do you
just saying,
remove
like-
the stress from it afterwards?
Yeah, so because like through the week, I don't turn my computer off because there's too much stuff you got to sign in.
Okay.
So once I hit that lock screen and that screen goes black, I'm home. I'm not at work no more. Or on the weekends, I shut the computer down. I'm not at work no more. I'm at home. And a lot of people have that. They don't like working from home because they can't separate work from home because they're here.
Right.
Me, as soon as that computer goes off, I'm at home.
So you leave work at work.
Yeah.
Basically.
So the stress is just like you cut them off like
He
they're
can
nothing.
flip it like a
Yeah.
switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
What about you,
done.
Cha-Cha?
So I'm the same. This position that I have, I've had it since April 2023, and there was some training that I took, and one of the things, part of the modules was about your well-being, and I really needed that. there was a time in my life where I wouldn't even take a vacation. You know, and
Yeah, I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, and
I was the same way. Like
I need that.
yeah,
like, what's the point of staying? Like, I
Yeah.
always thought with like my mom, like, what's the point of staying at home for a vacation? I might as well just work and get that money.
right. But to add to what I was gonna say, it takes time. It takes time to be that person, because everybody wants to be great. Well, I hope everybody wants to be great. I've talked about that on previous episodes, is dare to be great. But for me, it was just showing up and letting them know that I have your back, and that, you know, hopefully I'll get that returned in kind. But
So when you leave when you walk out those hospital doors, you just leave all that stress there and you don't
Yes.
take it home with you?
yes, and there's a planning that comes along with that, because if there's anything that's bothering me at work, I'm trying to figure out what I need to do to alleviate that before I go home.
I got you.
Do I reach out to my supervisor today about it, or is it something I need to wait for tomorrow? That's just
So
a specific
with
situation.
that right there,
Yeah.
when you said is it something that needs to wait for tomorrow? That little piece of stress you got.
Yeah.
Do you take that home with you? Do you let it marinate on your mind while you're at home? Like, damn, I got to talk to him about that tomorrow. Ooh, it's just gonna be. Does that
No, I'll
stress
leave it
carry?
there. I'll
You
leave
leave
it
it,
there. I'll
and then
leave
you
it
pick
there.
it back up that
Mhm.
morning.
And like I said, it's all planning for me, because I try to make sure I know what my issue is, what
Okay.
my concern is,
And how you want to address
and
it?
how I want to address it. And then I
Gotcha.
also play devil's advocate. What do I think they're gonna? How do I think they're gonna respond?
Yeah.
And, you know, if they're
Then
gonna
what my
respond,
response gonna be.
I deal with
Yeah.
all of that before I go home.
All right. Omega, what about you? As far as stress with work, how do you deal? How do you cope? How do you cut it off? How do you de-stress?
Well, when the day ends, where I'm at right now, I got a decent amount of travel time in between.
Mm-hmm.
So when the day actually ends, most of my stress at the moment, it's all like physical stress. So it's like standing for so long.
Got you.
A lot of places, like, they have machines to do everything, but here that's not the case. So it's like, bro, cork in bottle with
Oh,
hand.
man. Oh,
and it's like,
man.
bro, you know, you gotta. So stuff like that happens. So at the end of the day, you know, I'm just kind of like not completely wiped, but damn near, you know. So
Gotcha.
that long drive home is nice to be able to listen to music or just kind of be stationary for a
Yeah.
bit and kind of just like decompress. But even then, like, once I get home, it's always nice to smoke a fatty. If I
Come
can-
on, fatty. That's what I was waiting on. That's what I was waiting on from Omega.
Okay.
If you can get it in, you know, that's nice, but that's not always the case. But realistically, like, if I had it my way, it'd be like, yeah, it'd be nice to smoke that fatty, be in a totally non-negative way, just be left alone for a while to sit in it and
Well, woosah.
unwind,
Yeah.
Decompress,
yeah,
yeah.
decompress totally. But that's not always the case.
Right.
So
I mean, even like me, like I'll turn even when I lock the computer, like I'll sit down here for a minute and just
Let it all
Stare at a
just
wall.
fade.
I end up watching TV for a minute, but it just
To reset your mind off of work and get it back on. Okay, I'm home.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Take my old
So for
man app.
me, it wasn't always like that, and I'm sure y'all have the same type of mindset for y'all. Like, it was a day or a time when it just clicked. Okay, I just need to leave it here. But for me, my coping mechanism is, once all my work is done, I get up, I put my stuff on, I pop my headphones on, and I play music that gets me excited. Like,
Yeah.
good music, like really good music. And I will dance my way out of that hospital sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's my decompression. Lets me know that, okay, I'm free from the chains of work, or I'm not restricted anymore to just being in this building and doing these things for these people. I can actually leave and do my own thing. But everybody said that they leave their stresses at the door. Okay, hold on 1 second. No, go ahead.
actually I used to not be like that.
That's what I'm getting to. So hold on 1 second.
Okay.
So where we are now is not where we always were. And where our audience is now may not be where we are. So what was it that clicked for you going through all that stress that you went through before? Like, what were your coping mechanisms then versus now? And what advice would you give to people that are having trouble separating that work home separation?
Like I said, it actually started with this job about that. So it didn't, like, I haven't been into it that long. Like when I was doing the Amazon thing and then I worked in restaurants and stuff like that, I'd carried a lot of that with me because I always kept thinking, well, what am I going to do different? What am I going to do to better myself next time? What could I have done different?
Right.
You know, and that always ate me up, especially doing the Amazon thing. It's like, well, what could I have done different? Because I was in a different role at that time. So, but like I said, with this job where I just clock in, clock out, I'm not worried about nothing. It's kind of what separated that. And I had to realize what I'm doing, you know, like, especially like working in a restaurant. I was serving food. I wasn't saving lives.
Right.
Doing the Amazon thing. I was just delivering package or making sure the package got delivered. I wasn't saving lives.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I seen my mom. I've seen her carry stuff home with her because she's a nurse. She's been a nurse my whole life. And you know, she would be at patients' rooms and stuff when they passed, and she would come home tore up.
Patient care is a different animal.
Yeah,
it is.
So
I want to know how nurses cope. If any nurses are listening to this, tell us how y'all cope with the stresses of work, because that is major stress.
Sometimes it's hard.
Doctors too, police officers, firefighters, like all those frontline employees, they have to have it the worst. Military, like, oh my God, could you imagine how much stress? Being the president of the United States, let's not get into that. Let's not get into that. Look, because he was ready. He was on fire. Josh, I was like,
That's how I had to twist my lips up.
he was about to turn into the Grudge over here.
Yeah.
You were
nurses,
talking about,
like nurses, they carry their stress home with them because, like I said, sometimes it hits different, especially if they get like
attached to the patient.
Yeah, if they get attached to the patient. Doctors, it's a little different. Some doctors are bred that, you know,
cut it on, cut it off.
Yeah, like, or they don't even cut it on. Like some of them,
they don't give a fuck.
They just some of them
they take it out on you though. Some the ones that do, they'll take it out on their team, and sometimes you might have to go to HR. So but
nurses too.
But to add to, and that's a good point as far as the doctor saying who they take it out on. So that's the question for me. Like I'm sitting here thinking, like, so if somebody was having an issue, what would I actually tell them if they were stressing on the job? If someone came to me, what would I tell them? And it all depends, because there's just some people you just not gonna be able to save. Because I know some coworkers that are just angry for no reason, and they own it. They own it. They like, I don't know why they coming to me today, because they know they know what I'm about. I guess they want to get cussed out today.
They don't know who they fucking with.
Right. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like,
because we started a chat group for the people that was in my training class, so that way we still have that person interaction.
Because y'all venting to each other. These is getting
and so a lot of them, they do carry that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm calling y'all out.
Are they listening?
Some of them do. But no, there's some of them that they let the job stress them out. One of the ladies, she actually had to go to the emergency room because the job stress. She let the job stress her out, and I was like, look, y'all can't let this job stress you out like that. Like we're not doing nothing but data entry.
Right.
You know,
facts.
We're typing in stuff, and the computer says whether it's approved or not.
Right.
You know,
just do your job.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
And that's like to your point. That's one thing that I would tell somebody. You know, you cannot. You know, you have to be okay with how it turns out, because you know, if you're on a 90-day probationary period, after your first week, You shouldn't be in there talking about, oh my gosh, I don't think I can make it. You know, that you just been here a week. What you're going through, you're supposed to go through it. That's why they give you 90 days.
That's the stresses of a new job.
Now by day number 89.
So what advice would you give them?
Day 106, you know.
We need to talk. I'm here for you. You know, I'll help you, but you got to start taking some of this stuff. Yeah.
So Omegas. So I don't know if you remember the question, but
I got lost in the sauce. What happened?
As far as like before you got to the point of where I leave it at the door, how was your coping mechanism? Was it different than what it is now? And what advice would you give to somebody that hasn't got to the point of just leaving it at the door?
Well, I think the biggest thing traditionally that stuck with me, my mom, when she was raising me, always told me, you know, you can't dwell on the negative. Like, of course, bad shit's gonna happen. There's nothing you can really do about it, but how you react to it is kind of can help determine your outlook. So, for lack of a better term, you know, prepare for the worst, hope for the best type shit. You know, so generally, my outlook on stuff is kind of like, well, you know, things get stressful depending on what it is, but that's not unique. You know, like you said, everybody goes through it in some way, shape, or form. It's just kind of about how you
handle it.
How you handle it, and then how you choose to see it in the long run. Because, like, again, if you dwell on the negative, then you're just going to tear yourself down, and you're not going to learn, in my opinion, the valuable lessons from it.
Right.
Regardless of if some shit might be cringe or whatever. But that would really be probably the biggest thing. My philosophy is stuck with me, but has adapted with me over time because my life situation has changed over the years. You know, back in the day when it was like just me and my lady, no kids and whatnot, like there was less shit to stress about substantially. You know, I remember being so much less stressed. But at the same time, like I was younger too, so like my responsibilities were completely different, and you know,
those are different stresses too.
Yeah, absolutely. But for the most part, I can't tell anybody how to feel. Like, don't be stressed. But at the same time, it's like, well, maybe think twice about the way in which you think about stuff. Almost not exactly like stow it, but be like, is this really necessary?
Yeah.
Does this really serve a purpose? Am I helping, or am I just kind of hindering myself by continuing to beat myself up or something?
What's the outcome?
Exactly. So it's like, if it's not productive, then is it useful?
Right.
You know,
sometimes you got to see the bigger picture.
Oh yeah,
you got to see the bigger
and when
picture.
you're down in it, going through it, that can be hard.
Yes,
For real.
Yes.
But
I'm gonna throw out a key word.
Yep.
Because I've dealt with people, including myself. Accountability is very important.
Yes.
Because sometimes the stress is self-inflicted.
Yes.
Because sometimes we get into this facts over feelings. And let me give you an example, America.
Wait, hold up. Do you mean feelings over facts?
Yes.
Aha.
Feelings over facts. Yes. Thank you for that.
I just want to be sure I was reading you right.
Yeah. Feelings over facts. Yeah. Thank you. So, you know, sometimes we can be on a job and we can think something is so unfair. We can think it's unfair.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it doesn't matter. Rules are rules. No matter how you feel about them, it doesn't matter if you think it's stupid. It doesn't matter if you think it doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter if you say, well, if that rule is slowing me down. It doesn't matter, because if you don't follow that rule, you give them something to work with. And that's one level of stress that can come in your life, is how you do your job. You know, and are you doing it the way it's supposed to be done? Because if you're doing it the way it's supposed to be done, then if it turns out right, then you should be okay with that. Even though you don't feel like you're effective and you could be more effective, you need to let that go, because your way and their way is apples and oranges, because they're going to tell you it's either our way or the highway. And so some of the stress is, you know, self-inflicted. So you know, accountability is key, because I went through that. You know, one day I just said, you know what, I'm tired of being angry. And my job has my life in my work field has excelled ever since I just stopped fighting stuff. I'm like, you're right. I'm gonna add you all to the email. I'm not gonna fight this stuff that I thought I could deal with on my own. Like, I don't need you all to answer, talk for me. They're disrespecting me anyway. I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
And so I would be at fault. They would be like, you can't do that. I'm like, but y'all not taking up for me. They don't have to. I need to follow the rules. So some accountability is key.
Period.
Oh yeah.
So for me, like when I'm gonna tell you, before I got this job, I was very stressed all the time at work, and there was no way I could even think of even coming close to being able to separate that. And I'm one of those people that now I'm able to separate that, and I don't get the luxury of not having my work phone or not answering my work phone. I always have to have it on me because I have employees that communicate with me more than they communicate with my other comrades as far as my level of management. So when they hit me up at 7 o'clock 6:30 in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to be running a little late, I got to respond to that, and I've got to send that into the other managers. But I still, in that instance, it's like for a split second I'm at work, and then for a split second I cut it right back off. That's how I am now. But before, like, no, baby, I was at home pissed off, like angry at the world because of work. And my advice now, as far as being able to cut it off, and before, I would say that you just really have to realize that it's work.
Yeah.
Work is going to be stressful, but when you leave, there's no work. That's all you.
No.
Like that's your life. Like you're living your life after you get off work. Like while you're at work, yeah, you're living your life. But at the same time, you're living your life to please somebody else right now.
Yeah, like the only thing that really gets me about my job right now is sometimes we don't really know when we're getting off.
But you always know that when you hit that that screen, cut that screen black, that you cut it off.
Yeah. But it's like, it's one of those things, like sometimes like they'll be like, well, if we do 3,000 claims per hour, we can get off in six hours. But if we do 2,000 claims, it could be 8 hours. Just say we're going to have an 8-hour day. If I get off early, we get off early.
Right.
Yeah, because
You know what I
that
mean?
can be stressful too. Like, damn, what time am I getting off? I got to make plans.
Yeah.
So I got to eat dinner.
And that's
Does
how
she
you
need to
alleviate
go pick
that
it up?
stress.
Yeah.
That alleviating that to alleviate that is just accepting that you know that you don't know.
Yeah.
That you know that you don't know, and that's how you alleviate that.
I prepare like I'll see the morning claims
Yeah.
or the starting claims, and I'll kind of base my thing off that. Like I'll be like, okay, it's going to be an 8-hour day.
Yeah.
And I go ahead and get into my mind, it's going to be 8-hour day. And so that way, if it's shorter, I'm like, hey, what a good day. Like today we worked 6 hours.
Yeah.
So, but I consistently have my mind working that we're going to be 8 hours.
If any of my employees are listening to this podcast, my one recommendation for you as an employee, and if you're not, I'm probably going to say it in the meeting, is just plan to have a lot of discharge cleans. Like you're going to have to clean rooms.
Right.
That's your job, but you're also going to have to step up and go and clean rooms to the point of where they have to have a new patient in them.
Right.
And you might have to do that with multiple rooms, more than just 2. So like, just do the work. I mean, when you get off work, you can have your drink, complain about it, and get over it. But like, when you're at work, just do it.
I know it's
And that's not an on topic, but you stress me out.
it was kind of like when I was doing the
Because I don't know if you're gonna clean that room, and if you don't, I have to. And if I'm gonna have to clean a room, I'd rather know up front and not be, oh, she's going to the room, this, that, the third, and I have to go find out that you're not in the room. Then I'm pissed off because now I gotta go find you and take your cart and go clean this room and write you up, and then you're gonna be like,
And you painted a
Hey,
picture.
you're the motherfucker
You
who's
painted a
hiding.
picture of who you were.
Oh, nothing.
You see-
like
oh, yeah.
You're getting pissed at me. You're the motherfucker who's hiding.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
it's like
You're on the clock.
It's kind of like when we was working for the DSPs for Amazon delivery.
Yeah, I'm a rock for you, but don't stress me out.
Like,
'cause
you know how many times I had to tell people in the morning, don't run stop signs, put your seatbelt on. Like, we have cameras in the vans.
Facts.
You act like we don't see that shit.
See, that's a whole nother topic. This is
Yeah.
at work stress.
Yeah.
How do you deal with at work
Yeah.
stress?
But
I
that-
cuss the motherfucker out.
That's it. And that's it. Right. And that's the thing. You told me who you were going to be in the interview, and then I hired you, and you not that person, man. Cut it out. Cut it out.
Like,
Now wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You listen
this
here.
was good stuff, and that will conclude the first side of this topic of the week.
Stress balls.
When we come back in just a minute, it's going to go into family and just relationship balance.
Mm-hmm.
We will see y'all in a second. So switch gears, cut this segment of it off, and get ready for the new segment. And we'll see you in just a second. Y'all ready?
let's do it.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's flip the gears and turn it into family relationship stress. When it comes to relationship, how do you separate the stresses of relationships and family relationships? Like when you're stressed out with a relationship and you go to family, how do you separate like that stress of being with that other person when you're dealing with family and vice versa? And when it comes to both, like how do you balance?
Oh.
Do y'all get what I'm saying?
No,
Am I
I
confusing
do.
you?
I do. It
Because I mean,
somebody
like you
else
get
go, 'cause
stressed
this-
out by family, and then you want to go and tell your spouse
Yeah.
about it, or you get stressed out by your spouse and you want to go tell your family about it. And then when it comes to stress on both sides, how do you balance it? Because you don't get to walk away from that.
Right.
That's constant and in your face. How do you deal with that?
For me, there's just certain people in my family I know I can talk to, and that's important. You need to know who you can talk to, and because the thing about it is they are the ones that'll keep you grounded. There's some that won't judge. Number one, and number two, they will let you know where you fucked up. And that's what you need. You need somebody that's going to be honest. There's certain times you need somebody to have your back in your family, whether you did right or wrong, because they know something. You may have been provoked. But then there's some that say, well, you should have done better. But I get it. But overall, there's some people in my family I know that I can talk to, especially even if it's about other family members, because that's a tough one. That's a tough one when you're dealing with something versus another family member, because you number one, you don't want to throw them under the bus. Number two, you still want to make sure that love is in your heart. I don't hate this person, but damn, they just there's something that they keep doing, and I just don't know how to go to them because I know how I am, and I just so number one, that's important. Who when it comes to dealing with that. Now, I haven't been in a relationship since 2017, and I had to walk away from that. So I just one day, and it was on my birthday too. Look, I can't do this anymore. It was ugly. But this person would actually go to my sister and air out our dirty laundry, but she would leave out her side of the story. So it got to the point that this person would she knew like, okay, I'm gonna call you and get your side of it. I'm not, cause she would take her side for it. I'm like, no, that's not what happened. And so some things you try when you're dealing with that other person, a significant other, you have to try to find a grounds of communication.
Okay. Omega. Same scenario. Like when it comes to like dealing with family stress and relationship stress, how do you balance that, and how do you separate yourself from that when you need to? Like when you can never really truly separate yourself from it.
Yeah, it is kind of tough. They are in many ways inseparable. My situation is like there's not really many people that I could talk to, but even if there were, like I'm personally unsure whether I would burden them with anything that's going on with me.
Right.
So it is stressful, but I'm kind of at a point to where I try to the best of my extent figure shit out myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's tough. Big ups on that.
Yeah.
That's tough.
yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, like, my parents are still around and everything, but like, my father's not someone to talk to about anything.
Yes, I get
He's not-
it.
he's not
I
that kind of
get it.
person.
I get it.
And I could talk to my mom's, respect. I love being able to talk to my mom and everything. But at the same time, too, it's like she's from a different time, you know, and believes stuff. So a lot of times, like talking to her, it's like I would appreciate the input, but at the same time, it's like we don't exactly see eye to eye philosophically. So again, I feel like I would just be burdening her with my shit. So I'm like, well, I'll try to figure it out to the best of my extent.
Okay.
So I might not be the most qualified person.
What
to-
about relationship wise?
what do you mean?
Like dealing with the stresses of relationship. Like how do you cope with that or decompress from that when you're still in that same space with that person that is causing you that stress?
That's hard.
Oh, I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, again,
You don't like take a breather, go for a drive, like get into the game, like
it-
start making music. Like how do you deal with the stresses? Like what is your outlet?
if at any time there is, it would have to be just getting some kind of space. It's tough
Right.
being
Yeah.
alone, especially like if I didn't mean like it's tough being alone. I meant it. Well, it is tough being alone. But I'm saying tough
Not
to
over
find
here.
time to be
Not
alone.
over here.
Yeah, especially when you like have kids and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
we know.
And then, and
Well, you
then-
do a good job of it because you don't seem very stressed out. You just seem like you have a lot going on
Yeah,
as far as
that's
work
what
when
I
you're
call it.
here.
Well, that's good.
I just
Yeah.
chilled.
You know,
dog.
well, yeah, and because like even my kids and stuff say so. Oh, you're pretty chill.
How many
Well,
kids you have, man?
He's very chill,
I have 3.
Okay. Okay.
and
you
I
know.
wouldn't even know it.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not like
I mean, but how can you tell that somebody has kids? I mean, like, come on now.
Oh, you can tell.
Yeah, sometimes
you, can
you,
tell.
sometimes you can tell.
You can tell
Oh,
when
look at her
somebody's got
stomach. She look
kids.
like she got kids.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah.
beat you up if you say some shit like that to me.
yeah.
on my
Oh
mama.
my gosh. Yeah.
But
so
It's unanimous. Mellow man. Omega's the mellow man up in the.
he takes care of business himself.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
I'd like to think so.
So,
Your boy's a ticking time bomb here.
Yeah, yeah. I was saying sometimes you just need to be heard, even if you don't see eye to eye with your
Right.
Sometimes you just want to just let it out.
I guess that's the one thing I know since I've known him since high school. I kind of see the stressful things. I've seen him stressed out. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
you all right, man?
A lot.
Like-
We've known each other for a hot ass minute.
Yeah,
and yeah, I
so-
guarantee you. Yeah, you've seen some crazy shit, bro.
Yeah, so
D-Lo, did I ask you already? I don't
no,
think I did.
you didn't. I
No,
kind of letting everybody else
Yeah.
answer because that is a loaded question for me.
Here we go.
But I still have to go after you, so let's not.
Yeah,
Oh.
too deep. No, I'm not going too deep.
Oh, but we got Sam tonight.
Buckle up. Yeah.
no,
We got all the time in the world now.
I'm not.
Now, see, we got the soundboard. We need to put in like the shotgun cocking for the loaded questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's my family dynamic was weird. So there were certain things I could talk to my dad about, and there were certain things I could talk to my mom about.
Okay.
My dad was more like my best friend, but he was an alcoholic. Not saying anything on my dad because I wouldn't be the person I am without my dad.
Right.
So,
You owe me a soda.
but as far as relationships, I guess that's one and the same now because I'm married. So my relationship is my family.
Period.
You know what I mean? So,
But you get what I mean as far as your family.
yeah, no. But
Your
I do
relationship.
agree with what Cha Cha said as far as like there are certain people you can go talk to, and like I have said many times, I am very blessed in my in-law section. So
Yeah. D-Lo's family, dog. He's family.
yeah, so
Day one.
I don't have any. I do not have any complaints on that section. Like
Okay.
I know there's people I can go and talk
Yeah.
to.
Okay.
Um,
Oh God.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But but being a newlywed, don't get me wrong. Yeah, there are some stressful parts, but
Cha said not too much on his knees. I'm just playing. He said,
No.
you tread lightly with that one.
Right,
brother."
right. No, I don't really have anything bad stressful on that. It just there has been some stress too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, just like anything. But it once you, like we said in the last segment, once you get to it, stress comes from everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to look past that
Oh,
and look in the good what you have.
Yeah. I want to say something real quick before we let Javi get into it, because I'm excited to hear what Javi has to say. But when it comes to relationships, and this is just me, even though I haven't been in one since 2017, the male
Disclaimer.
yeah, well,
Ladies.
anywho, if you listening,
Period.
you can get this
Yeah,
work.
I knew it.
I know it was coming.
I
too.
knew.
You can get this work. But well, anyway, that's for another episode. See, I was just trying to say this real quick. But especially with the men, there are just some things, and they want we want to be open, we want to communicate, but it's hard when it comes to dealing with our significant other. There are just some things that I'm just going to take to my grave, period. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything that major. You know, I mean, not saying like cheating or anything like that, but it's just some things that I just can't come to you about because you'll never understand. And, you know, for the women, it's hard because we're taught to, you know, man up. And so they're bringing that to the light, as, you know, in today's time, to, you know, women, you want us to be open. You want us to you know, share and let you know what we going through. But the minute we do, then you trying to tell us man up, or that's bitch shit. Oh, now you sounding like, you know, or whatever. You know, you and then you kind of push what we have to say aside, and you go on about what you've gone through. Well, you think that was tough, but you should have, you know, and it's not about that. Everybody's going through something. I just want to be heard. And so, you know, I've gone through that. I've gone through, you know, because, you know, you'll find a person that'll say, well, what was your last relationship like? Or have you ever? And when you bring
Honey,
that
it was
stuff up,
stressful. It wore me out.
and you don't throw a name out there, because then they throw it up and it's
Voldemort.
The women have a way of taking that stuff that's supposed to have just been a part of that
But
conversation.
that's not just women though. That's men sometimes
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, but I mean,
No, because we don't give a fuck. We
saying-
really don't.
Well,
Hold on, wait. I'm saying
he's talking about
homosexual
different.
thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
Of the homosexual variety.
Right. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Understood. But I'm just saying what men in general have to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, is that, and then you have some men out there like that are, but they're, you know, that are very insecure. And they will throw stuff in they woman's face about their past, and that ain't cool. But, you know, in my experience, is like what you said. You know, you said that if you had a choice, you would have chose her anyway. I wasn't comparing you to her. I was just speaking on then. You asked me a question. You know, if you can't, if it's something that you're gonna throw up in my face later, then we just not gonna talk about it. So now I don't go there.
Right.
Don't ask me anything that has to do with my. Have you ever cheated? We not doing that. That's all you're gonna get out of me. We not doing that.
You got me now. I don't cheat.
Yeah,
Right.
we not doing that. That's all I'm gonna tell you. You're not gonna. So if you wanna insinuate that I have because I won't answer the question, then I'm not for you, because we're not doing that. Javi.
Period. So I love how we each gave different. Well, we each are going to be given or gave different dynamics of what stress I was talking about. But my version is a little different. So for stress with the relationship, the way I deal with it is I just talk about it as much as I can to the person. And we either going to work through it or we're going to agree to disagree about whatever the stressful situation is. When it comes to my family knowing about my relationship stress, they don't. In the past, I've shared and opened up to my family about it, and I felt like they grew a bias to that person, or a bias because they're on my side, of course. So I don't share that aspect of my relationship, the stresses of it, with my family. When it comes to the family dynamic of stresses, like, I don't really talk to anybody about the stresses of another family member. I lied. No, I would say they get on my nerves. You know,
I was
I'm
gonna
very
say-
open and blunt about it.
I was gonna
Like,
say,
and I'm not shy about like putting somebody in their place if they've done something wrong. Even if you're an aunt, uncle, I don't care. I will let you know when you've been disrespectful to me. I won't do it mean or hatefully, but I'll approach you and we'll have a conversation about it. And if you want to raise your voice, then I can raise my voice too. But I still do
he
it
call him out in front
respectfully.
of everybody.
And I have,
Right.
and I've done that too.
Right.
And I have done that
And that's
too.
important though. That's important because you got to be able to read the room, and that's but that part brings about stress too when it comes, and that's why I was saying you're dealing with a specific person because they're a problem to you, or you all are a problem to each other because whenever y'all get together, it ends up this.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
when it
and-
comes to like me dealing with family stress and then like going back and telling my significant other about it or my spouse about it, oh baby, I opened up tea, honey. You need to know everything about my family growing because this is what auntie got going on. This is what uncle got going on. This is why auntie don't like uncle and auntie just got into a fight last week. You gonna need to know all these tea so when you come around and I'm working you like girl. Over here, like you know how you cut your eyes at your person and they make eye contact and you like throw your eyes to the person you
like,
want to look
like
at.
over here.
Baby, I need you to be in sync with
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Every jab that is being thrown, I need you to be like, bitch, look
Right,
at that.
yeah.
Like, so my spouse will know everything that goes on with the family. If I don't like a family member, I'm sure my spouse is gonna be biased because they
Right.
rock with me. So we both ain't gonna like it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you're gonna hear them say it. But when the first time they go around them, when you all get alone, they're gonna say, "I get it."
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
it's
need
like,
you to stay in the loop with
there's-
everything.
You are
But
right.
I will not tell my family any type of like stress that I'm going through with that person unless it's to the point of where I can't be with that person anymore. Then I'll explain to them why. Then they can grow their bias or however it falls. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be with that person anymore. That's how I deal with it.
Yeah, like because I'm not gonna say who the family member is, but I'm just saying.
Look, come on, hold on, because we getting into tea time.
Yeah,
Oh,
tea time with Hobby.
don't you let Hobby suck you in.
Come
That
on.
just get
Throw it
you
out there.
down
But
that
it was like-
dark
but
Be
alleyway.
as the tea.
But it's
Lord.
like Uncle Chacha said that if there were some people that you had to like my wife, I had to tell her like, look, we have this one person in the family, and me and her, we don't see eye to eye. You know what I mean? Like it's like she's ultra religious.
Oh, she know who she is too. Is she listening?
Nah, she ain't listening. She's not listening.
But she's super religious and what?
But and me and her, we've gotten to like tit for tat arguments, like almost brawls at my great grandmother's because
She thinks you're a heathen.
right, and hey, it is what it is.
And he is. But that's okay.
But
He can
no,
be-
I had but the one thing I wasn't worried about is because my wife is Christian, so that she, I wasn't too worried about it, but I was still worried about how she would interact with me. Over the years, she has gotten better. I will say that.
Well, that's a plus.
Yeah. So I think it's the fact that I'm married now.
Oh,
And her son was the officiator at our wedding.
Oh, well, yeah, there
Okay.
you go.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
have
So
mended the ties and
yeah. So
Slightly, because he still got feelings because he brought it up.
hey, those arguments were like shaping into my childhood. Like,
Oh, okay. This
yeah.
is like
little
back-
childhood trauma.
yeah.
Bill's character.
childhood stresses that he didn't leave at the door.
I'm gonna say all.
They're a
And
piece of me.
I'm gonna say it was all up until I met my wife. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Right.
like every
Okay.
time I was a kid to when me and my
Gotcha.
wife got together,
I
we.
got you.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Family stress is weird, dude. Like it's because you can't say that you hate them because you love them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like
I don't know, because some of them, they be getting to the point where, honey, I don't know if I love you no more because you be doing the most.
no, I
I'll be at your funeral and I'm going to cry because you my family, but at the same time, like, you was an asshole.
yeah, no, I have
You
a cousin.
homophobic? Yeah, I ain't got nothing to do. I don't fuck with you at all. Like, I don't hate you, but I don't rock with you. Like, you family, but you
that's
ain't
the
nothing
key.
to me.
Yeah, like I,
You just don't rock with them, but there's a difference between.
Yeah, I
hating
still
and
love
love.
you. Like, I'm going to be there for you if you really
Yeah.
was down and
Yeah.
out. If you
Yeah.
turned into a crackhead, I don't know
mean,
about all that. but
gosh.
I'm not
an enabler. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Like I have
God.
I have a cousin that after what he did, I kind of don't look at him the same. And it's kind of like I went to Maysville to see his daughter graduate. Right. I mean, he was there, we shook hands, whatever. But at the same time, just kind of like, nah, I ain't flexing with you. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, that's what I'm saying. Family dynamic is weird.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Because you can have that feelings of like, I'm not fucking with you, but we keep the peace right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I'm going to keep it cordial because you family, but I don't fuck with you. Don't call me.
Yeah.
Don't ask me for nothing. You shake my hand and move on.
Yeah. If you ask me how I'm doing, I'm good, and that's it. That's all you get. You know
You're lucky we're related.
You know what? You know what? Because then I would hate you. And I probably go to your teeth every time I seen you.
Exactly.
No. I'm talking about violence, and I'm not even that violent.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. Family dynamic is weird. It's weird for stress. Like,
relationship dynamic is not, because honey, you gonna know all the tea.
Yeah.
But when we get into it, we need to soften this up before we go to bed, because I'm not trying to be sleeping hard as hell.
Well, I'm also the type of person that I will.
Well, somebody's sleeping on the couch, and it ain't me. Yeah, it'd probably be me. It'd probably be me because I'm so tiny. I'm tiny, so I can sleep on the couch comfortably. I was thinking to them cushions.
I don't know. Like it's weird for me because I'm the type person that I push that shit down, and I just I try to forget about it. You know what I mean?
I think most
like,
people are.
Yeah, I like it.
Don't do that.
Well,
I've done that for years. My last relationship, I did that, and when I exploded, baby, you would have thought Hurricane Katrina came through this motherfucker. No, like for real, don't do that.
Yeah, it's
but
hard,
that's how I've dealt.
When you
that's
push
how
it down,
but that's how I dealt with any stress or
the
any
push down's
anger.
gonna build up on you.
I know, but with her, I can't. It's like, it's different.
Talk it through.
And this is the first time that like it's been different because I had my moments where I have blown up on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is it's like I said, it hits different. Like it's not like when we sitting there talking, it's like I'm not worried about trying to cut deep. I'm not worried about trying to start an argument.
Yeah, you should.
So it just it.
That's how you know it's good love.
Yeah.
Kind of
That's
let
how
it
good
be
shit.
superficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
But
is water under the bridge at this point. Like we going through it and we gonna get over it.
Yeah, because I mean I've had relationships where they try to cut deep, so you trying to cut deep. You know what I mean? And then other ones I'm just like
That's why your hairline's receding. Oh, you trying to hit for the gut now? You really trying to cut deep. You know it. That's why you still got cellulite on your back.
You act just like your mama.
You know what? Oh my God, she's throwing pots and pans now.
Now you gotta replace that hole in the wall.
Yeah. But it just like I said, this is the first relationship and this is why I knew it was like
that real deal.
Yeah, because like I said, even when I do like, okay, we can talk this out.
The stress just melts itself away.
Yeah, like I'm not worrying about cutting deep. I'm not trying to start an argument because I hate arguing.
Yeah,
you know,
you're the person I love. I don't want to argue with you.
Yeah, so like I want to take the time to at least talk it out.
Yeah. All right. This was a good episode, y'all. Yeah. This was a really good episode, and I can't wait to hear everybody's topics for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be amazing. Everybody's got great topics.
Yeah.
Although I feel like I got a little
nice crispy sound.
Yeah. I feel like I got a little echo in my voice. I don't know.
I don't know. It's good. Maybe it's because you're so far away from the microphone.
I ain't
don't
that
have
far
an
from
echo.
my mic. What are you talking
Now
about?
you sound great. There's no echo.
I don't know.
See, here we go this week.
Now everybody just
everybody getting up on the mic like this.
Are we great? Tell you stop stressing about it. Don't you start that stress.
This is that white noise you need.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm your boy Javi.
I'm Omega Green.
D-Lo.
Cha-Cha is always in the building. Yeah.
And that is all we have for today's episode. Don't forget the topic is stress. How you coping? See you next time.
Peace.
Peace.